When are you having a kid? It's almost like nothing compares to being a mother. And I think for centuries we've been fed that. I don't believe that there aren't other things that cannot fulfill or complete you. Not reacting is not giving the other person what he or she wants. And that is also very powerful too.
Hello everyone, my name is Rudrani and welcome to Speak Easy. Today my guest is an actor who has been consistently winning your hearts with her stunning performances on screen. She's chosen work that challenges her as an actor and that reflects her belief system. She's someone all of us deeply admire, and she lets her work roar the loudest. Let's welcome the Sherni on and off screen Vidya Balan. Thank you, Vidya. Congratulations.
Hi, and thank you for that introduction.
Thank you so much. What a stunning performance it was. I think
you.
I'm sure I object right now. As an audience and someone who's watched your work for so many years, I think this is my favorite Vidya Balan performance till date. I think the first thing that I really enjoyed watching in Sherni was the parallel that they so organically and beautifully drew between, of course, the tigress and you and the worlds that we live in. It's the existing sort of this jungle of patriarchy, if I can call it that. Is that when you read the script, was this also the way you saw it?
Firstly, thank you so much for your generous praise. I'm very, very happy and grateful. I think when Amit first narrated it to me, I think I did see that Vidya's journey was almost metaphorical, or that the tigress's journey in the film almost reflects what Vidya is going through as a human being. So yes, I did see those parallels early on. And I think this is how Amit had always seen the film. And because Amit saw the film this way, I think I saw the film this way, because I always like to try and I always buy into the director's vision, because that's what we're living out on screen. So I'm glad that all this has come through beautifully finally in the film, because one is to imagine it or to envision it. And the second is for it to actually translate, because I'm saying this very consciously, because there's no high drama in the film.
Your character, the way she reacts to those situations that are purely intense and extremely dramatic, I think she's thinking as a woman that, they already expect me to be dramatic and loud. And I am not going to be that. I feel she's so aware of the fact that they are expecting certain reactions from it. And she's handling it. She's like, I'm going to first sort the problem at hand and then think about how it affects me. And that's brilliant, because at a workplace, I feel, a lot of women are constantly made to feel like that because they expect certain reactions from you in certain situations. And I think that also comes in here beautifully.
Well, I've never thought of it like that, but now that you say it, it does make sense. I've always seen it as Vidya being herself, because I feel she's a non-confrontational person. She's someone who's very reserved, who doesn't really want to engage with the world, which is why the forest is her safe haven. So I've always looked at it from that point of view. But this is interesting too, that not reacting is not giving the other person what he or she wants, and that is also very powerful too.
That moment where she's having this conversation with her in-laws about and with her husband about the fact that about children and things like that, which is something that you've also been through, and you completely know how that feels, like the constant judgment around the fact whether how much of a work you do, but at the end you still ask me the question, when's your baby coming out? When you were doing it, I know you relate to it. So tell me a little more about that.
Just societal expectations, familial expectations from a woman are so I think clearly defined. So, whether the mother-in-law is expecting her to wear jewelry for a simple dinner at someone's house, so that she looks like a little doll wearing the jewelry that her mother-in-law has gifted her, or when they talk about the child, they cannot fathom how, the daughter-in-law could be doing anything. Okay, she's a forest officer, she's just been sent here as a BFO, that's fine. But when are you having a kid? It's almost like nothing compares to being a mother. And I think for centuries we've been fed that. How often have you heard, you know, someone saying that, what completed me was becoming a mother? Well, that might be true, but I don't believe that there aren't other things that cannot fulfill or complete you. I think it's interesting because we've all seen this, but we've seen it being dealt with differently on screen. But here, she's like, what, you say whatever you want, I'm going to laugh it off, I'm going to smile it off, I'm not going to indulge you, because I honestly don't have the time to indulge you. There are more pressing issues at hand. She wants to do the right thing the right way. She has that courage of conviction. So even though she seems like she's, really not standing up for herself or standing up for what she believes in, or she's not aggressive about these things, I think you get that she's a strong woman, because women in different walks of life, even within the household, have had to, literally navigate their way through this jungle of patriarchy, which is also deep rooted in themselves. So it's not only in the men. We've all been brought up to believe that the man is our savior, is our protector, he's the one in charge, and we have to please him. He's our security blanket. So, therefore, everything that we've done in life, we've done so that we continue to have that protection.
And also, your work reflects your belief system a lot. A lot of your films are so, very, very similar to what you think in real life and how you are as well. So I want to know, I'm sure you've been in situations like this, and when you were doing it, were you like reminiscing that, or you thinking in your head that this is a good way for me to tell that I notice things around me?
Yeah, but I think, I don't think it was conscious on my part. I'm sure I thought about those instances in life when I felt the same way, because I surely have. But I don't think when I was signing the film, it was a conscious decision. I've been through this and this is my way. I never do films to make a point. The story has to appeal to me. If along the way it's able to make a point, and if people take it, then great. But otherwise, I feel that the story should touch you, should impact you in whatever way. So different people will take away different things.
There are such few stories, and I think engaging and really interesting stories around this man versus animal narrative, and how the actions are so deeply affecting the environment. This movie, in some ways, hopefully, will sort of highlight that for you personally, because it does.
Oh, absolutely. For me, personally speaking, this film has changed my relationship with nature, my understanding of conservation. So I feel that is the bigger takeaway for me from the film, the most important takeaway. And I feel that that's probably what's resonating with people, because those are the kind of messages I'm receiving. When I was doing the film, I didn't think of, how are people going to react? Are they going to feel strongly about the environment, about preserving, about protecting our wildlife? I wasn't thinking all those things. I just did the film. And then now that I'm getting reactions from people, I'm feeling like, oh, wow, this is what we set out to do. Though consciously, I have to say, there was no agenda. It is hugely overwhelming and very gratifying and very humbling all at the same time, because, I knew that when people watch the film, they'd like it. But I didn't know how many people would watch it that day, on the day of release, or on the weekend, because it's not one of those, run-of-the-mill films, those entertainers. So I was like, maybe people will take their time to watch it. But what's taken me by complete surprise is the fact that so many people have watched the film, and so many people have reached out to share their feelings, and all long, long messages. So yes, it is still overwhelming.
Are you able to objectively let it go and say it's over? Or are you still hard on yourself? Especially for a performance like this, where people are calling it like the most subtle and the most, deep performance?
No, I don't think I'm ever hard on myself. That's something I've learned not to do over the years. So at least in the recent past, I've not been hard on myself, thankfully. But yes, I'm sure I'll have perspective on it when I watch it a little later. Now it's all too fresh, you know. Now I've watched it once on Friday, and I enjoyed the film, but I didn't really. I think for perspective on myself, I'll have to watch it once again.
And you rightly mentioned about the fact that we're so used to being man the savior, and I think even our films have been, showing that for way too long. But you specifically always been the savior of your own story, and here too the character is like that. How important do you think it is to show that?
I think that's a very interesting shift that we're seeing. That you don't need someone else to protect you, which is why now, of course, even physically, women are better equipped, what with training in martial arts and all that. But also mentally, I think because of so much conversation around this, I think we're really stepping up to the role of being our own protector, guide, savior, whatever. We don't expect someone else to do it for us.
Vidya, what is it that you still want to do?
No, I've not thought of a particular genre or a particular kind of character. But when I watch lovely content on the OTTs, I feel like, wow, look at the immense possibilities today. You can tell any kind of story and you find an audience. Today, the OTTs provide you such immense opportunity because you can do anything. Pick up any genre, play any character, and there will be an audience for it.
I want to know when you think about somebody who's watching the film, and specifically women, what do you hope that they really take away when you see a film like this also, along with, like we discussed, the conservation story and all of that?
I think primarily it would be what inspired this story, the man-animal conflict, and therefore the resolution of that, the constant fight between development and conservation needs to be addressed, needs to be acknowledged in the first place, and to find out what solutions. So having said all that, I just feel this film changed my relationship with nature. I was indifferent to it before this. I was only ever concerned with enjoying its beauty. I feel like I've ended up treating nature like many men treat women. And that has changed with this film. And I hope that it at least makes people think about these things, because I've begun to think about it for sure.
How easy or difficult was that process for you to once you got into it? Because I thought everything that you did, the way she even, has the little frown or the way she's moving in those clothes are very specific to the character. I don't see Vidya there, the Vidya you.
I don't know, I think it's just how I absorbed what Amit was telling me and how I instead processed that and then, expressed who I thought Vidya Vincent was. But Manushi Rushi, who've done the costumes, Shalaka, who's done the hair, Harshal, who's done the makeup, they're all equally responsible, and Rakesh, who's our cinematographer, they're all equally responsible for creating the physicality of Vidya Vincent, which is true to how these officers are at work. It is very practical dressing, and there's not much scope to be fashionable or to dress differently or anything. Your job dictates that. And that itself for me was half the battle won. Then it was, I think, like I said, just absorbing the personality of Vidya Vincent. I think translating that into a more palpable form.
I also feel like, were there moments where you felt like, is my note a little higher? Because it seems to be perfect. Like I told you, in Hindi films, doing loud dramatic characters is something that we've gotten used to, right? But I think what you really do well here is that pitch, getting that right pitch. And I want to know, was it, it doesn't look easy to me.
No, it's not easy because I kept feeling like I'm not doing enough. So I wasn't worried about being, pitch higher. I was actually worried about being a pitch lower. But I think Amit kept telling me that that's what he wanted, and I always go with the vision of the director. So I submitted to that, but I kept feeling like, oh, is my face going to convey anything at all? Is my voice going to convey anything at all? Is my body going to convey anything at all? Because I felt almost like so withdrawn that I was feeling sometimes, and I would ask him, and he'd say, no, it's fine. I got what I wanted. As long as he said I got what I wanted, I just let it be.
I don't even know what you're going to come up next with, and that's the exciting part, right?
Yeah, that is. Let's hope things settle down soon and we're all able to get back to work. I'm due to start a film with Suresh Triveni, the Hari Suru fame. Fingers crossed. That's it.
Fingers crossed. Lots of love to you, Vidya.
Thank you, Rudrani.
Congratulations.
Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.